A
Both
Marty
Monday Night Football guys.
Marty Glickman award winner? Is that what it was?
Yeah. That's like
Yeah.
the biggest award in broadcasting, essentially.
Yeah.
Syracuse legend, Dan Horde.
Mm-hmm.
Name the other Cincinnati media personality that went to Syracuse, Keegan.
Anthony Mazzini.
He's not Cincinnati per se.
Who
Joe
is
Daneman.
it? I don't.
Joe
Oh.
Daneman went to Syracuse as well.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Indiana's coming.
Okay.
All right. Well, we got a guest.
Yeah, let's get it rolling. He's here early. Let's get him knocked out early.
What's up, guys?
We have had a heavy 513 influence today, and that continues with the pride of Elder High School. None other, Cincinnati tight end, Joe Royer. Joe, welcome to the broadcast. How are you?
Appreciate it. I'm doing well. How are you guys? Thanks for having me.
Great. The best MLB The Show player on the football team. Are you willing to make that
100%.
declaration?
Yeah, 100%.
No hesitation. 100%.
Yeah. I'll challenge anyone. Spent a little bit too much money on that game, though. So
Well, I think the most pressing question after having talked to Gavin Gerhardt earlier is how was the WWE experience front row?
yeah, I've never been to one. I used to be a big fan when I was a kid, then just kind of got away from it as I got a little older. So I never made it to an event, but that was my first one. It was really cool. It kind of re-sparked my interest in it. So I've been keeping up with it a little bit more ever since then, but it was a good time.
Is Brendan Sorsby really that weird about WWE?
Yeah, he's locked in every Monday and Friday. He lives right above me at our apartment, and he'll text me and be like, "Hey, you want to come watch Raw?" I'm like, "Not really, but I'll come hang out with you."
Wasn't planning on it, but I'm gonna have to listen to you stomping on my floor for the next 3 hours.
Yeah, man,
so.
and that's another thing. Dude walks, he's got to pick up his feet or something.
That's hilarious.
Take us into the end of the season and that process. I know you've been asked this 100 times, but that process that led you to coming back to Cincinnati for your senior year, for your final year.
Yeah, so I always kind of knew I wanted to come back, but I was just taking it a little slow. Just kind of weighing all my options, and I was hearing some pretty good feedback about the draft and if I would have went out and everything. And I did take it into consideration, but I felt like I wasn't quite ready, and I had more to give to this team and this university and city. So it was a pretty easy decision, honestly. I had it decided a couple days before the crosstown shootout, so it really wasn't a long decision at all. But they wanted to announce it then, and make it a pretty big deal, and that was awesome to do. But yeah, I always knew I was gonna come back.
Yeah, they hid that from us, right? They usually give us a little bit of a heads up. They told us essentially you were deciding like that day.
Yeah, they did a good job keeping it under wraps. But yeah,
we knew about the other two. Like we had the other two. They wouldn't tell us you though. They respected you a lot more than them.
Yeah. Shout out Stiper, whoever you guys are in contact with about all that stuff.
What was the NFL process like? I mean, I know you didn't go through like the whole deal, but like gathering information and being informed as possible on not only where you stood, but if you did come back, what you needed to work on, what needed to develop, things like that.
Yeah. So I'm signed with my agent's Kyle McCarthy. He works with Athletes First. He's got a bunch of good tight ends in the league, and so I'm blessed to have him as my agent. And he was telling me some feedback from scouts and teams he was talking to. They thought I was a day 2 guy. Depending on how I tested, interviews and all that, it was kind of making it seem like it would be a pretty easy lock at day 2. But then when I was talking with him and I was thinking about coming back and all of that, he he wasn't pushing me one way or another. He's like, here, I'm just here to provide you information and help you do kind of what you want to do. And then talking with my family and coaches, obviously I decided to come back. And but the biggest thing, hearing from teams and talking with my own coaches as well, they just want to. I felt like getting another year of film would be helpful as well. And then in the blocking game, they want to see me stay on blocks more. And I will say that's definitely not my strong suit. So I want to work on that, and then just be able to win in man coverage against DBs, and when bigger guys are on me, show that I'm quick enough or fast enough to run by them and make plays down the field.
Which
How
go ahead, Aaron.
How excited are you about just the retooling of the wide receiver room? I mean, you have pretty much all new guys in there for Brendan to be throwing the ball to, but is that going to allow you to maybe get a little bit more freedom while you're running your routes out there?
Yeah, I think it will definitely help, the offense collectively, because there was a couple times last year, I started to get bracketed late in the season. There'd be a guy kind of typically up on me, then a guy over top, and it was hard to get touches. So having these skill guys that we brought in, man, I think if we get our offense firing on all cylinders, man, it'll be hard to stop. And honestly, if I'm being bracketed or whatnot, man, I trust these guys that we brought in, and I know they'll do great. And, that obviously makes it easier on Brendan as well. So I feel like, if you're going to double team a guy, we're going to throw it to the other guy. And if you want to, double team him, then we're going to go to here. So it's a very skillful room. I think skillful offense as a whole, running backs included. And I'm excited.
Anyone you're particularly excited about?
You said what?
Anyone you're particularly excited about?
Yeah, so we got Cyrus Allen. He's a stud. Really, all the wide receivers we brought in, Jeff Caldwell. I don't think there's anybody who can really run with him if he can get going. He'll be a great deep threat for us. We got Noah Jennings, who's really good. Caleb Goody as well, and then a couple of the guys that have already been here. They're continuing to develop. Barry Jackson had a really good spring. And I'm excited to see how that room shakes out this year.
Which player or coach had the best reaction to you saying that you were coming back?
Trying to think. I think for coach, obviously, I think it was Coach Stepp. That's who I was in contact with the most, obviously, and he was super excited. And after the TCU game, Zach Stipe told me, he was like, they're probably going to ask you what your plan is for next year, and just like, don't say one thing or another. So in my interview, I was like, I haven't thought about it or whatnot. Mm-hmm. And Coach Stepp, he was a little scared, honestly. He comes up to me and he was like, what are you thinking of all this? And I was like, man, I'm planning on coming back. I'm going to say that. But, Stipe just wanted me to not really put anything out there for him. So he was worried. So he was really excited when I made the news. And then probably Brendan. I think I called him. Well, I mean, we were talking consistently, so I think he knew. But when I finally figured it out and had everything set up, he was super excited and just ready to get to work.
That's awesome.
Put it in your notes, Keegan. Can't trust anything this guy says. He's not telling us the truth.
That was the one time.
I was talking to Coach Stepp, and I think he told me that you guys had a conversation once, and he said, you said, I don't want to play for anyone else. And then his response was, okay, then don't.
Yeah. Yes. I read your interview and with him, and I mean, after the season when I announced I was coming back, man, you wouldn't believe who was hitting me up, hitting my agent up, getting in contact with me somehow, and some of the stuff they were throwing at me. And that's not really why I play college football or why I came back. But I mean, Coach Stepp, man, that's my dude. I love him to death. I don't think you'll meet a better person, better coach to play for. And when all these other schools were hitting me up and stuff, I don't really think he was worried, because I think he felt secure in what I was doing and everything. But if I was going to come back to college, which I obviously did, it wouldn't have been anywhere else. So
As long as you have enough to buy stubs to complete the collection rewards for the show, that's all you
Well, I
need.
already did that. That's the issue. I got Beltron and all those guys on my squad, but man, after I did it, I mean, obviously it's best cards in the game, but
Yeah.
I took them in and I was like, damn, this is really what I'm spending my money on right now. Let me get off Xbox.
Dante's buying a house, and you're.
I'm buying stubs. Yeah, I think I got the. I'm being smarter with my money for sure.
Oh, that's awesome.
We had Logan Wilson on earlier today. He said that he's not upset that he has moved off of safety and he doesn't have to cover you anymore. He's not upset about it. He'd do it. If Coach Vite asked him to do it, he'd go do it, but he is not upset about having to do it. What's it like going up against Logan Wilson, and who gives you fits right now when you do have to go against them?
Yeah, you just mentioned Logan. When he was playing more safety, I was pretty much running all my routes against him, and I still did a couple times in the spring, but he moved out more to corner. But he had a really good spring out there. He looked really good, natural. And from a safety aspect, Christian Harrison, he did well this spring. Tough to get open on. And Tatum Barnes, he's a good player. I think he'll be a good player for us as well. Those were really the two main guys I was going against and running routes against. And then obviously you have the backers. Golday will occasionally pop out in coverage. John Thompson, JT Dingle, and those guys.
What's it like with Golday, a guy that's kind of your size? Like you don't get many guys your size out there covering you.
Yeah. He's a freak athlete, man. How big he is, the way he can move and do things. I'm super glad we, our recruiting staff found him and got him here because he's a great player and he'll only get better. But yeah, it's tough. Like you said, we're pretty even matched in size, speed, strength. So it's just really comes down to leverage battle, technique, trying to find out things that he does and try to use it against him, try to get him open his hips and snap off behind him or something like that. But yeah, he does well in coverage as well.
He said he's the hooper. He says he's got some basketball skill.
I could see it. I haven't seen his jump shot, but just based on how athletic he is and how fluid he is.
He didn't have a jump shot.
He said jump shot was bad, but he could rebound and dunk.
Okay. Then we're not classifying him as a hooper. He's just I'm trying to think of a word for him, but he's just
He's an athlete that you could use that athlete.
He's a football player athletic football player playing basketball. We will give him the hooper name.
This might be
where are you at on that where are you at on that hierarchy of basketball players on the football team?
Man, I would think I would be in the starting five. I would hope. I have a pretty decent jump shot, and I played basketball my whole life, so I feel like I got a pretty good understanding and feel for it. I love to play it. Right now is after the season and then after spring ball when we get our two biggest breaks of the year. I typically get a couple runs in a week up at my grade school over on the west side. We'll go up at 10 or whatever when all the teams are done using the gym, and we'll play till midnight one, just get 10, 15, 20 guys up there and get a couple 5-on-5 teams, 4-on-4, whatever. But, sometimes it's tough because a lot of them are my friends and they're not really keeping in good shape anymore. So they get tired after a couple games. So we have to sometimes switch 3v3 half court. But no, it's good. It's fun.
Some of them aren't borderline future first round picks, so it's kind of
well, not even that, man. They're just obviously not on the same workout. Yeah. While we're playing, they're out drinking, and that's fun to do as well.
It's an elder tradition unlike any other.
Yeah, for sure.
It's probably the best high school tailgate in the country.
100%. Unfortunately, I didn't really get to experience that. I guess I could go back to a game now and do it, but I was typically playing in the games.
Speaking of the first round draft pick thing, how much did your phone start blowing up when McShay mocked you in the first round? And what was that like the first time you looked at it and saw even the thought of Joe Royer first round tight end? Does that motivate you even more?
Yeah. So, my phone was, it was blowing up. I was getting a lot of texts and people were sending me the tweet and all of that. And it was funny because when I like clicked on it, I was like, what is this? Because it was like 4 slides and I'm just going through all of them. I'm like, why are people sending me this? And the very last one I saw my name, I was like, holy shit. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Get mocked into the first draft or first round. And obviously it's cool to see that I'm being recognized in that way. But honestly, I think anyone will tell you that it's too early to tell. None of that stuff really matters. I mean, it's good to, like I said, for recognition standpoints, maybe to get some more eyes on me and whatnot. But I'm not really trying to think about it too much. Just want to go out there, play well, help us win some games. And the biggest thing for me is I want to get to Dallas and compete for a Big 12 championship.
This might be a tighter or a deeper tight end room than even when Wiley and Lenny were here, with yourself, with Gavin Grover, Kamari Smith was doing some things in spring ball. How do you look at the room right now as being the elder statesman, if you will?
Yeah, obviously me and Pat Gert are in the same grade, but we're the oldest guys and the most experienced. So I take that role. I don't take it lightly. I want to provide a good example for the rest of the group and kind of show them how things are done. And, I'm not really the most vocal guy. I think people would tell you that, but, I just try to go out there and, one of the biggest things I was proud of from this past season is I didn't miss a practice or anything, from being banged up or anything like that. So, just setting an example. And, if I got to come out because I get rolled up on or I get tired, man, it's not a far drop off. Gavin, he's going to be a great player. Devin Zahersky, man, I think he's probably the most improved football player on the team from, last spring to now. He'll be a great, H-back for us, fullback guy and can do some Y stuff. And then I'm super excited that we got Pat Gerd down as well from Ohio State. He'll complement, me well when we go in those 12 personnel sets. He can do both Y and H stuff on and off the ball. And Kamari, it was a pleasant surprise. I didn't think he would do as well as he did, when you're in college for 2 months and then you jump into spring ball, it's tough. So he did well. I think he'll be a great player for us as well. Obviously, still has some growing pains, but I think he'll shake out well.
Did you and Pat live together at Ohio State?
Yeah, we did for a year.
Who was the better roommate?
I mean, I feel like we we blended well, I think. Yeah, I'm trying to think.
He's trying to throw Pat under the bus.
No, I feel like he can't admit that he was or that Pat was the better one.
No, I mean Pat, I would say Pat was the more what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of it. Pat was more responsible. We'll say that. There you go. That was our sophomore year, so we're still young. He was a little bit more responsible than me at the time, but yeah, I'll just give it to him then.
he did his dishes.
Yeah, he did. And I wasn't really a dishes guy because I would just Uber Eats or DoorDash too much food, and then garbage will start piling up, and we'll have to go bring it down to the dumpster. But no, I love living with Pat. And I mean, I would again, but obviously we're both living alone right now.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
It seemed like your families are really tight. Notice that at the spring game that, it seemed like the two families commingled really well.
Yeah. We've been together for, going on 6 years now. And he's got 2 sisters. I got 2 sisters. So, and when we're up in Columbus, they were always kind of around. So I grew close with them. Then I grew close with his parents. And then, when my family was up for games, and then when we were living together, our families just started to blend. And, our sisters became friends. Pat became friends with my sisters. And, they're a great family, great people. Love being around them.
Have you sat Sorsby down and said, look, I'm the guy back. Everybody else left. I know there's new talent coming in, but I'm your guy. Find me. I'll get the first down. I'll move the chains. I'll score the touchdowns. You and me, kid.
I think, I said something to him and I said something to him and Jack Griffith. It was one time in spring. I think I made a pretty good catch, and it might have come off as cocky or arrogant, but it was me more so just honestly just talking shit, having a good time, and being competitive. I think I said something along the lines of, Jack and Brendan, I know you brought in all these good receivers, but remember who I am and stuff like that. So, and they're like, "Oh, we know. We brought them here to help and everything." So,
Remember who the heck I am. That's what you said,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember who the frick I am. Yeah.
was the one-handed catch at higher ground in traffic where everybody just kind of stopped? Is that the best catch you've ever made? You remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was probably the best catch I've ever had in my career, in practice or out of a game. I really don't know how, because I was running, well, I can't really do it, but I'm going this way, and it was kind of behind me, and somehow I one-handed it like this because Goldie was holding my other arm. And after that, I think I just threw the ball down and
You did. Everybody
Yeah.
stopped.
You
were
walked
just
to
like,
the
"That's-
sideline.
yeah, I didn't even really know what happened. I got caught up in the moment, and then
Blacked out.
I walk back to the huddle or whatever, and Coach Steps like, "Hey man, don't throw the ball," blah blah blah. Because Coach
Blah
Sats,
blah blah.
Coach Sats looking at me. He's like, "Don't throw the ball, man. Finish the play." But then he comes up to me and he's like, "That's the best catch I've ever seen in my life." So it was good.
Like, yeah, coach,
I
remember who the I am.
Yeah.
I covered Randy Moss when I was in college.
Okay.
And that's one of the best catches I've ever seen. If
Yeah.
Randy Moss did things. I covered Randy Moss the year that he played against Division I AA kids, FCS kids at Marshall, which was literally the most unfair thing I've ever seen in my life. And you did that to Jake Goldet.
I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna, it's Randy Moss, so he's yeah, that's all I gotta say. That's Randy Moss, but
That would have been a "you got mossed." Like that would have made that segment.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, like you just said, that's a segment because of him. So
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I wish I
It
got
really
to,
was.
Yeah,
It was the most unfair thing I've ever seen in football.
Yeah, I wish I got to see him, if I was a little older, get to see kind of him and what he was doing. Obviously, I can watch old film and stuff, but I mean, seeing it in firsthand, I'm sure it was something different as well.
Those dudes were like 5'8", 175 pounds, and Randy was 6'5", 205, just running past them. Like, throw it here.
Yeah.
You broke some pretty big records last year. What are your goals for this upcoming season next year?
Yeah, I've hit on it before. Coming into last year, I didn't really have any expectations or goals for myself, and I'm kind of going into that same mindset this year. The biggest thing for me, I hit on it a little bit earlier, is the main reason I came back. Obviously, wasn't quite ready and all that, but I want to help this university win. And the record 5-7 last year, people might say like, we weren't any good, but man, it really, we weren't far off at all. I think we're 1-4 in one-score games, maybe. You flip that number around, what's that, 9-3? So we weren't far off, and I want to help us get to Dallas. I take pride in being from here and playing here, so I'm gonna, carry that and try to pass it on to the other guys may not be from here, young guys, and just try to get them all on board. And I think we got a good group, great players, but also great people, and I think they believe in what we're trying to build here.
How cool is it to be with Dante? The two of you kind of share that incredible love for the city.
Yeah. Yeah, especially the West Side. If over there, everybody knows everybody. And it's hard to get out of the West Side. People leave and they end up coming back. I kind of did that. So just came here off the start, but yeah, just being Cincinnati guys, we take pride in what we do, especially playing here, and it's kind of hard to explain. It's just one of those things that you just feel, being from here. Like, it's just a little different than most guys.
Northern Kentucky could never understand.
No, even though
God's
that's
country.
no.
God's country.
Oh gosh.
All right, you guys good?
Yeah, that was awesome.
You gave us a little extra time coming in early, so we definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming in, and slow down a little bit on the show.
Well,
Buy a
I
house,
already
get a car. You know.
yeah, since I got the Live Series collection, I really don't have to buy anything else. So now I'm just until new content drops out. But I'm trying to hold off. But yeah,
Aaron's an accomplished MLB The Show player.
I wouldn't
Really?
say accomplished. I'm not accomplished. No, sir. I enjoy franchise. I don't even like to play online. I think no.
I was trying to set you up, Joe. I was trying to set you up.
No.
I forget what division I was in for the weekend classic. That was just this past weekend, but I was in like the World Series one, and man, it was war every game.
War.
Yeah,
Aaron said,
it was
"Nope,
tough.
not me."
So,
Oh,
like, I
gosh.
think
All right.
I would say I'm pretty good, but some of those dudes, man. Let me get out of here. Just leave the game. I throw a lead off. Dude hits a lead off home run. I try to send him a friendly quit. He declines it. Nah, then I'm in for one.
Daddy Ron wants to know who's your team.
Who's my team? I use the Reds. I just made my team Cincinnati Reds, but obviously it's kind of like ultimate team. Like I have cards from all over the place and all. But yeah,
Not a franchise guy.
The Cincinnati Reds.
Has anyone ever seen Joe and Ryan Royer in the same room at the same time? Yes.
They don't look anything alike. That doesn't.
They don't look anything alike.
Don't look alike, but yeah, we've been in the same room together.
Not cousins.
Nope, not related.
Good for you. All the stories you've heard about him are absolutely true. We've